Natural hair growth made possible by protective styles that retain length and minimize breakage. These are all of the things that you're searching for online. What are the best hairstyles and what are the best tips? Well, let's talk about it from a professional cosmetologist of over a decade.
I am back. What it do, baby?
The scientific term for single strand knots in fibers or hair is single strand knots, or like you guys like to call it here on YouTube, trichomoniasis. Scientifically, that is the name of single strand knots. Specifically, when referring to hair, there isn't a more complex name because it's a straightforward mechanical issue rather than a disease or a condition. It's caused by curl pattern manipulation, constantly raking through the hair when it is in its weakest state, because at the end of the day, this is a form of split ends where the ends split and then they're never cut, especially if you've been getting curly cuts, and we know all about that because you guys are blaming them for everything, right? But especially if you've been getting curly cuts, you never get the opportunity to see how your hair actually is, and in your wash and goes and your twist outs and all of the things that you think you're doing, like your co-washing and you combing through your hair while it's wet to detangle it. All of these things are things that end up leading to you having split ends, which eventually lead to you having single strand knots, or the scientific name that I just gave you. So these are things that I'm always telling you guys not to do, but the truth of the matter is a lot of you don't really want to hear that because Team Natural has been around for so long, and honestly it's been around for so long that if you are not a certain age, that's literally all you know. So you think that hair care for a black woman means putting your hair in all of these twisties and ponytails and hairstyles and things of that nature. But the truth of the matter is, our ancestors, for real, like our grandmas, our great great grandmas, our great 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 grandmothers, they were not doing your wash and goes and all of the crazy things that you're doing. The truth of the matter is, if we really close our eyes and remember from our mind's eye, our grandmothers had roller sets and perm rod sets and things of that nature. They would sleep most of the time in their rollers, and the majority of the time that you saw your grandma was in her rollers. They were not walking around with wet hair. That's not a thing. And when they did, that was around the jerry curl age. And around then, right, when they were doing the wash and go and all of that term, all of those things got canceled. It was a very, very small moment in time. So if your hair just won't grow past a certain point, or if hair keeps breaking off, your hairstyle choices are likely the reason that you're not retaining length. I'm talking protective styles that aren't really protective, tension styles, constant switching of your hairstyles, and really having so many different practices that cause you to have over manipulation. I've been a professional in the industry for over a decade, and in this video we are going to break down, all the way down, right from braids to wigs to sew-ins to natural styles. I'll explain why you're styling your hair the way you're styling your hair exactly might be sabotaging your growth goals and what to do instead. Let's finally see some length retention. Now, as you're sitting here watching, this is one of my clients that I had for years, and as you can see, her curls are still intact. She, all I ever did to her hair was a flat iron and a silk press. Now, this is going to be a very unpopular opinion, like this entire video, unpopular opinion, and it'll make a lot of people uncomfortable, but whatever, right? Because at the end of the day, when I'll just use Nevada for an example, there are two separate licenses. There is a hairstylist license, and then there is a cosmetology license. Hair styling is exactly what it sounds like, styling your hair, but there is nothing pertaining to the health of your hair, the maintenance of your hair growth cycle, the maintenance of your skin cell turnover cycle, none of those things, right? So remember good hair? A lot of you guys don't. Well, I'm the class of 2008, right? That's the year that I graduated from high school. And in 2008, there was a show called Good Hair that came out, a movie called Good Hair. And this, in my opinion, was the catalyst for the Team Natural movement. Because once again, there's always some celebrity or somebody with big influence that has absolutely nothing to do with the hair industry, that has no credentials in any way, shape, or form, that makes a mockery off of black women because it's the easiest way to make money.
Wear my own hair. You got a little extra piece right here, though. I do not. Oh! I do not. I do not. Whoa! No extra pieces. No. Go ahead. Feel the whole thing. No. Yeah. That's all I got. No, feel it. No, go ahead. Come on. Come on. You can pull it, feel it, sit. Get out of here. Yeah. Oh, man. See? Wow. Oh, I've never done that to a black woman. Oh, that lucky Stedman. Bastard Stedman. Wear my own hair.
Now, in 2025, we're seeing so many things that makes it very, very clear and very obvious that these actors and actresses that get on TV and promote things to you, they do this for a reason. And if you think that this was an organic moment, you're crazy. This was not an organic moment. When we are promoting something, you have to create a buzz. He was very aware, and it has always been a thing that black women have beautiful long hair. There is a portion of YouTube that people who are anti-blow dryer, anti-flat iron, anti-relaxer, it's a part of YouTube that you never see. But those women have extremely long, thick, beautiful, and healthy hair, even with relaxers. So even though you just seen Oprah Winfrey's hair being beautiful, she's not washing and going, the man who made up the curl typing chart 4C, 4B, 4A, 4W was Oprah Winfrey's hairstylist. So I have a question for you. If you guys are all following the curl typing chart and all of the things that came after that, why is the man who made it famous, how come his main source of promotion doesn't wear Team Natural wash and go? How come she flat irons her hair and it's extremely healthy? These are the things that we have to think about, right? And we're going to go deeper into that. But first, I want to unpack a few things because it's unfortunate. A lot of cosmetologists like me are tired of the back and forth with our clients from Team Natural. We're tired of being treated like maids. A lot of black women, the majority of, like I said, y'all not gonna want to hear this, the majority of black women have no respect for their hairstylists. They think that rain, sleet, or snow, no matter what the weather, if you took off of work, you gotta get your hair done. Even if you have a baby, if it's snowing, whatever, if you reschedule my appointment, like, girl, we'll go a little bit deeper into that. But I'm going to give you an example of that because, of course, you want to keep your appointment.
Hey, y'all. I look crazy because the wind is blowing my hair. But let me tell y'all what just happened, and y'all let me know if I'm tripping. So I initially had booked Skylar a braid appointment with a braiding shop because her current braider is out on maternity leave. And you know, Skylar is about to be 10 in like a couple of days, y'all, and she want big girl braids, she want cornrows, she want the big girl stuff. So I pre-booked an appointment with a braider, well, a braid salon. Now I booked it for Friday. I know that we're supposed to get some type of snow or snow flurries in Atlanta on Friday, but again, I'm from here. I ain't seen no snow since that snowmageddon we had where everything was iced over, yada yada yada. So my whole thing is, if you know you don't want to work on that day, close your books. If you got them open, If you know you don't want to work on that day and you're watching the Weather Channel, close your books down on Fridays and Saturday because of what's going on. So I booked the appointment, paid my deposit. I guess somebody reaches out to me via text today and they're like, hey, this is such and such. It's supposed to snow on Friday. You texting me that is making me feel like you're trying to cancel or reschedule. So I'm texting her like, well, that's the only day I have available to get my daughter's hair done and drop her off and pay or whatever. If you're basically trying to change the appointment day, can you do tomorrow at this time? Can you do today at this time? No availability. So I'm like, okay, well, I need it done before Saturday. So what do you want me to do? We're going back and forth trying to, rearrange schedules, and she stops responding. So I take it upon myself to call my braider, Kimari. She don't do kids, but I'm like, look, I really need my daughter's hair braided. I really need you, girl. So I hit her up like, can you do Skylar's hair instead of, trying to book for Friday, even though she had availability Friday. I was like, I'll just book her for tomorrow. She said, yeah, I paid the deposit, now she booked. So I text the place that I had previously booked, and I'm like, hey, you could just go ahead and cancel my appointment as a whole and send me my deposit back. We found somebody that's going to accommodate us. So the lady responds, and she's like, oh, we were never trying to cancel your appointment. I was just letting you know it's an option about Friday. If I booked for Friday, why are you reaching out to me telling me that there's an option for me to reschedule because of the snow? I watch the Weather Channel. I know what's going on. And I guess she mad because she didn't respond no more. And I'm probably going to have to dispute my deposit because, you know how Atlanta girls like to play. And that's why I paid for everything with my card. But the reason why I'm making this video is like, this is why I typically just stick to the same... This is why I typically just stick to the same stylist, because my stylist is doing hair, sleet, snow, tornado. They gonna get that money. As long as you're okay with coming, they gonna get that money. And they're not gonna play with your deposit. They're not gonna play with your time. I feel like hairstylists, when y'all reach out to me to do promo, want to do business together, you want me to be your client, you gotta have availability, and you can't cancel on me. I plan out my schedule, and most people do that. So if I take off this day to get my child or my daughter's hair, you cannot text me and be like, hey girl, do you want to come a different day because the weather look like it's gonna be snow flurries? That don't work for me. And honestly, the way I'm feeling this year, if I book a hairstylist and they are unprofessional, I am outing you on my platforms because I got a good following on all my pages. So come correct.
This is the thing. I love that for y'all, right? I love that people can make extra money and extra income and things of that nature on line and on social media, all of the things, but it is also work against you guys because it is made Black women specifically feel like they have some type of sorority over their hairstylists for whatever reason. Most Black women think that hairstylists or cosmetologists or braiders are under some form of servitude because they're providing a service for you. I remember when I had my son, I was due April 26th, but my water broke January 7th. Okay, I'm sorry, January 2nd. I'm sorry. My water broke January 2nd. And then I ended up having my son a week later, but I had to stay in NICU until the 15th, right? That I in NICU. My son stayed in NICU, but I had to stay on bed rest in the hospital. Well, obviously, if my baby's due in April, but my water breaks in January, obviously I was not able to plan ahead for that. As a cosmetologist, we don't get maternity leave or nothing like that. How she was like, I'm embarrassing you on my platforms. I had someone make a full video about me, calling me fraud and all of the things, and I, as this video and as these links and all of the things and notifications are coming to my phone, I'm in the hospital, like literally on bed rest, can't get up to use the bathroom, have to use the bathroom and the bed and everything. So We won't even go too deep into that, but I have moved my life somewhere else and I just cannot open my heart up to service clients anymore. I love you so much and I don't want you to think that I was being disrespectful or mean with my response, love. And this is, of course, to the comment on the screen, but I am not in a space in my life where I am doing any type of one-on-one in-person type of anything with women anymore. I did that from the time that I was 18 years old until I was 27, and that was enough, right? Excuse me, I've had enough, so I love you guys so much. I offer so many other things though. Like if you look in the links in my description box, you have 2 different courses you can join, right? And they help you through. I'll leave the video in the description box that explains that a little bit more, right? And then I have a bunch of ebooks. We have a brand new book, not ebook, but like handheld 7-day challenge journal that you can purchase that'll help you kind of organize things. It's not the 7-day challenge, but it's like a mini little bite piece size of it that'll really, really help you get some structure. But that is all I'm willing to give. All right. I really, really hope that answered the question. And I'm not singling you out. I get that question a lot. I am not bookable. This video is 6 years old. Excuse me. This video is 6 years old from one of my regular clients that got a silk press on a regular basis, and her hair was not damaged, broken, any of the things. And whenever this is another part that's gonna upset y'all. One of the questions that I get mostly is like, okay, you're telling us not to do twist outs and wash and go, but what other hairstyles can I do? Because I don't want to wear my hair out. I only want to wear braids. I love y'all so much. I'm not the person that you should be watching because I'm not going to change outside of my normal realm of practice just because y'all need a replacement for the Team Natural girls who've left y'all. Because every time I get on YouTube, it's another one of them saying, I'm done making YouTube videos because it's not fun for me anymore. I'm no longer having fun because it was never about the science of hair. When we talk about all of the different styles that you can do, here are just a few of the many types of rollers that there are, right? And every type of roller that you see has different sizes. They give you a different size curl. So all of y'all that love to 4C, 4B, 4A, 4W, all of that, I explained the science of that and the truth of it in a video in the description box below. I was one of the first people on YouTube to make a video about the curl topping chart. I made one like 7 years ago. Link in the description box below, right? But excuse me, when we're talking about perm rods and flexi rod sets and all of the things, y'all, the styles y'all won't let go of are braids, 2-strand twists, and wash and goes. That's 3. Look how many different perm rods and roller sets you have and flexi rod sets. And all of the types of tools that you're seeing have at least 10 different choices. No, that's not true. But about 5 or 6 different choices, different size variation. So multiply that and you tell me how many styles you have versus your twist outs and your wash and goes. Like, what are we doing? And the thing is, when you see somebody pick up a flat iron, like Black women are so freakishly afraid of flat irons, combs, and brushes, and every single tool that has been demonized by the YouTubers that are tired of making videos because it's not fun anymore, right? They're not having fun. It's too mean. Whenever they make the videos, right, and y'all go buy it, it's a new tool, it's a new product that you have to buy every single time. But cosmetologists have been doing roller sets the same way for decades, like decades, down to most of us are still using the same foam wrap that the like old school Cosmos used to use, the Latte body and all of the things. So it's exhausting most times, and I know that it's upsetting because for you to do things the way that I talk about, you literally have to destroy every shred of information that you learn from the Team Natural Girls. And it takes a lot of accountability to do that. It takes a lot of sitting down and saying, dang, like I did follow them blindly. I did make a lot of mistakes. I do believe things that are not true. Do you see this woman's hair? This is now the time for her trim. This is what a trim looks like. So everybody's like, I haven't cut my hair in 10 years. This woman gets a trim on a regular basis. I am not giving her a haircut. I am literally looking at her ends, seeing if we have any splits that could run up the hair shaft. And clearly we don't. So now at this point, what you're seeing is somebody who just has unrealistic expectations. And so many black women are like this. So many women walk in like, oh boy, he like, I wanted this, but this is what I got. But your hair didn't look like that. Same thing for you. These are the things that we have to think about. And when we're talking about all of these different hairstyles, we're constantly doing all of these different hairstyles because we think that as black women, the way to healthy hair or the way to care for you because you're a black woman is to have braids and twists all the time. And y'all not going to want to hear this, and most of you won't agree with me, but it's not true. Because if we're using common sense, right? If we're using common sense, why is it that the one group of women that swears by braids and protective styles is the one group of women that cannot retain length? Why? Why is it that the one group of women that's scared of blow dryers and flat irons is the one group of women that has to do 50 million steps to do her hair? Why is that? Y'all have to stop being test dummies. In the description box or on the pinned comment or popping up on the screen, I'm going to leave some of these mannequins there because y'all have become test dummies just like the women that y'all follow online. You should never do that. Any product that you use, you should not purchase another product until those bottles are completely empty. So all of the products that y'all have under y'all sink, that should have never happened. It only happened because you were being a follower. And I'm sorry if that makes you feel away, but it's true. That makes no sense. If you drink milk, right? If you drink almond milk, anytime you see a commercial for a new brand of almond milk, you're not going to the store and buying that almond milk. No, you only go buy new almond milk when you run out of the stuff that's at home. But y'all don't do that with hair. With black hair, common sense is a non-factor. Nobody thinks about it. And I don't care what anybody says. I did hair like this and like hers for over a decade. And flat irons and blow dryers do not damage hair. They don't. Only people who don't know how to use them properly damage hair. But women who don't grease their scalp. This is a woman who doesn't grease her scalp. This is a woman who doesn't oil her scalp. The only thing in her hair at this very second was shampoo, conditioner that was rinsed out fully. And then after that, a leave-in conditioner and heat protectant as I blow dry. Nothing else. Nothing else. So let's move into what I call a protective style. When you add braids and things of that nature to your hair, right? And you're wetting them let's say you have box braids, right? Box braids are cool if you have them for a set amount of time, right? And as we're watching this, right, I want you to pay attention. This is another black woman with hair that's been blown out, maybe even lightly straightened, but it was blown out very, very well for it to look like this. A couple of flexi rods, boom, she's ready to go. She didn't have to put water, oil, grease, nothing in her hair. She put the set in, when she went to sleep, maybe she sat under the dryer, who knows, whatever. And now look at her hair. So the same exact thing is happening now. This was one of my regular clients, and I say it was because I no longer do hair, but it's one of my regular clients, and this is her getting a weave. Now, we live in Las Vegas, Nevada. It is hot as hell. Like right now, as we speak, it's hot. It is hot. Every piece of your body be sweating you outside for 5 minutes. We are literally in the desert, tumbleweed rolls on, right? So most of the time, when you say protective styles, the first thing you would say is like braids. And I agree. When we're talking about box braids and things of that nature, I think braids are great if worn like in very small periods of time. But most black women think that just because they pay, if you pay more than $20 for something, you think it's supposed to be in your head for 5 years. You think you're supposed to get a, a month per dollar. It don't work like that. You stop leaving your weave in for 20 months. Okay, and so this is the thing that I really, really want y'all to think about, because weaves are not damaging. When you think about, I remember one of the women that I like got some of my weaving techniques from, she compared doing a sew-in to threading. So many of you ask me all the time, oh, what about threading? What about threading? This is that nature. Okay, like we not even going there. But if you think about threading and what's done with threading, and then you think about a sew-in, I want you to tell me what's the difference. And if the foundation of the sew-in is put in properly, right? If the sew-in is put in properly, if the person who's giving the sew-in knows what they're doing, right? And they do the right type of braid down, if they use the right type of sewing technique, if they use the right thread, like I use a silk nylon thread, right? So if they're using the right type of thread that's not going to be damaging to the hair, and then in conjunction with that, as long as the client is not keeping the weave in for long periods of time, that's why your cosmetologist will tell you, okay, don't keep this weave in any longer than 2 months. Don't keep it in any longer than 2 months. Why? Is because after that is no longer a protective style. Then other things start happening. Then your hair starts to get too heavy. Like your hair ends up growing out, and then you have brand new hair at your root. You have brand new hair holding all of this weight. Then the style is no longer protective. These are the things that you have to think about, right? So when we're talking about a protective style in the salon in Las Vegas, Nevada, I'm speaking for myself. My clients all wanted to look like the very first woman that you just saw. They all wanted their hair super smooth and silky. And I never heard one of them show me a picture of a white girl. Nobody was ever like, I want to look European. Nobody ever thought that. They just love the way that the hair that grows out of their hair looks when it's straight. And then to me, there's not another person on earth whose hair looks as beautiful, thick, luscious, vibrant, and as beautiful as a black woman with healthy hair. Right? So when we did sew-ins, my sew-ins would mimic the way that their natural hair looked. So the majority of my clients, when the summertime would hit, they would switch up between doing their real hair, like the silk press, like the very first video clip that you saw, and then they would go into like wearing different types of sew-ins, but they wouldn't keep their sew-ins in any longer than like a month and a half. And then after that, they would take a break for like a month or so, and get back to their silk press or their roller sets, their flexi rod sets, all of the different options that I showed you. But none of their options was a wash and go. None of the options was a twist out. None of the options was just like y'all. So I want y'all to ask yourselves, what is this disconnect? Because our grandmothers, our mothers, and all of that, they all already showed us what we can do to our hair instead of a wash and go, a twist out, or braids. They already showed us. Y'all are just not paying attention because you're so focused on Team Natural and everything that came with it. I just showed you the good hair thing. All of this Team Natural rhetoric y'all have been following, that's been since 2008. It's not new. It's not new. And if you were like a baby in 2008, or if you wasn't born, I'm sorry, I love you, but you can't even be a part of this conversation. The only part of this conversation you need to be a part of is unlearning the misinformation that's been out here. And a lot of the cosmetologists that y'all follow that jumped on the bandwagon, they also jumped on the bandwagon with the whole good hair thing. It was a whole thing. They had so many products and so many different things that came after that good hair movement, and it's just been a downward spiral since then. So you have to ask yourself, at what point are you going to make a different choice? Because at the end of the day, it's up to you. It's not true. Black women can have beautiful, healthy hair. And it's not true that the only way a black woman can wear her hair is in braids and things of that nature. Yes, wearing your hair in a weave for too long isn't protective either. It's not. It's not. It's simply not. These are the things that I want you to understand. And when we're talking about protective, we don't mean, oh, this is protecting my hair. No, protective style means that I'm putting my hair up for a couple of weeks to give it a break. I'm protecting my hair from myself. It's not protective. Oh, we protect. No, 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 no. I'm protecting my hair from myself. I can't touch it. I can't be in it. If I sweat and stuff and try to comb through it, I'm not gonna break it. I'm not giving myself mechanical damage. I'm putting it up. But if it's not put up in the right way, you have more harm than good coming to your hair. These are the things that I want y'all to understand. So to answer everybody's question, I'm never going to make videos like do this twisty, do this updo, do flexi rise, not flexi rise. Oh my god, what you call those things? Crochet braids. Do crochet braids. Do interlocks. Do threading. I'm never gonna tell you those things. Never. Because as a licensed cosmetologist, throughout my career, that was never any of the options that I gave my clients. We were never doing twist outs. We were never doing wash and goes. We were never doing any of those things. Okay? So I want you to ask yourself, why is it that you can't let go of wash and goes, two strand twists, and twist outs when I just gave you over 10 different options outside of a flat iron and a blow dryer? I need you to, why are you so stuck to that? And a lot of you aren't gonna like this, but one of the main reasons is because you're lazy, because it takes a lot of work. But I could be wrong. Let me know in the comments, and yeah, let's talk later. I hope you're not mad at me. Bye.